Hi, I'm Andre and I'm a black nerd. Before I deep dive into this, I want to give a special shout out to Squarespace, who has sponsored my channel once again this month. Thank you so much for doing that. Squarespace is the place to go if you want to get a website, an e-commerce site, a blog, anything of that nature. You can use Squarespace. They have 24-hour customer service. They have a bunch of different templates that you can use to make your website so you don't have to worry about writing any code yourself. You can get a free trial, and if you use my URL, squarespace.com/Andre, you get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace.com/Andre. Check out Squarespace if you're looking for a website to call your own. And if you use it and make a website, let me see it. Share it with me. So midnight on Friday the 13th, I happened to be on Twitter, and after reading about everything in the world that's absolutely terrible, I saw a trailer for Fox's new movie, The New Mutants, which is coming out on Friday the 13th in April of 2018. Of 2018. Learn how to speak, Andre. This is a movie set in the X-Men universe, but it's not necessarily a continuation of the X-Men movies we've seen before, kind of the same vein as Deadpool and Logan, and it also got some attention. Maybe not a lot of attention because you put out a trailer at midnight. A lot of people are asleep. But the attention that it did get was the fact that, well, other than possibly some of the characters being whitewashed or lightwashed or something, there's some washing going on. Other than that, it's a superhero movie set in the horror genre, which we haven't really seen before. I mean, even when you think about movies like Blade or Spawn, they had horror elements, but they were still pretty much action films, superhero films. Whereas this one looks like it's really trying to play itself as a horror movie. Like if you didn't even say the word mutant, you probably wouldn't even known that this was a story about mutants or set in the world of X-Men, because the movie just looks like a horror film. Is that good? I don't know, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. So can a superhero movie be a horror film? I don't see why not. I think it's absolutely possible. That's why I've said many times before, I don't like it when people think of superhero films as a genre. I think it's subject matter. I think it's a topic. I think it's a style, but I don't think it is a genre, because I think that superhero movies can take all different types of forms. Like you look at something like the Marvel movies, the DC movies, Deadpool, Logan. These all have different types of feels to them, even though they're all dealing with superheroes. There was somebody who, after we saw Thor Ragnarok, was like, what do you think about that in comparison to Wonder Woman? Why do you need to do that? There's no reason to do that. Some of the other types of genres that superhero films have played in have been pretty seamless. You can make a superhero comedy, you can make a superhero drama. But when people go to a horror film, they want specific things to make it scary. Can that work in the same vein with mutant powers? And it's not even so much can a movie do it, period, but can the New Mutants specifically do it? I didn't know that much about New Mutants. I did some looking up, and I see that a lot of this movie is based on a specific storyline from the New Mutants, which in the comic played out a lot of horror elements. So it makes perfect sense that the movie would do the same. But most people are not gonna know that. They're just gonna see mutants, they're gonna see X-Men, they're gonna think about the X-Men movies they've seen in the past, and then when they see something like this, they're gonna go, what? And you have to accept that. That's just understandable, because as much of the people who are out there like, I'm a comic book expert, I know this, it's still all about that mainstream audience. That's where the money gets made, and that's what they're trying to target. And it's very clear from this movie, they're not trying to target people that may have known this information prior. They are clearly going for a young adult audience who likes horror films and may want to see something like this. Oh, and by the way, X-Men. And this is going along with X-Men's current plan from just being a bunch of movies that Fox randomly puts out to being a series of movies, some younger people in them, some older people in them, future past, next class, first class, new class, Saved by the Bell, new class, to then being on TV shows, Gifted and Legions. The X-Men are pretty much everywhere now, except for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So I respect the franchise for wanting to do something different. Did the trailer grab me? Not really. I didn't really. I feel like that it still tried to play up a lot of the tropes that we see in horror movie trailers. And I can't fault it too much for that because it's a teaser. Obviously, there's probably more to this movie than we're seeing, but from what I'm noticing right now, seeing a lot more scary, jump scare, horror type things than mutant superpower type things. Also, doesn't help to only think of it as a horror movie when one of the main shots in the trailer has somebody with a creepy white mask on. And if that's a character from the X-Men comics or the New Mutants comics or from the Marvel Universe, so be it. But in the realm of the teaser trailer, that looked like some straight up, hey, it's a guy in a mask. I've seen that before. Did Blumhouse make this movie? Is this The Purge? What is the proper balance of the horror versus the superhero mutant side? That's gonna be very tough, because you're gonna have people who are gonna see this movie and they're gonna wanna see powers. At the same time, there are people who are gonna want the horror stuff and maybe the powers be too much. And after watching this teaser, I still have that question to ask myself, because I do see it as a horror film. I don't even think of it as an X-Men film. If anything, I'm comparing it more to Stranger Things, which also had their trailer drop today. And I'm sure the New Mutants were like, haha, we just put out a trailer where a bunch of kids with weird powers are being held in a room and analyzed, and no one can top that. Why did Stranger Things put their trailer out today? This was supposed to be Fox's time. Netflix was just like, Lego my ego. But straight up, that dude from Stranger Things, he's having the best day ever. He's like, I got 2 trailers, player. Come on, Nancy. Well, don't you want to be with me now? Those are just my thoughts. I know they're random all over the place, but you know, as I've said before, sometimes a trailer doesn't always have to be, oh my God, I'm so excited, or I'm so mad, but just like, okay, that's something, and I don't know what to make of it, but I'm going to see the movie when it comes out on April 13th, so I'll deal with it then. No hype for it, no like, oh my God, I can't wait. I'm just like, that's an interesting take, and I'll see how it plays out. You never know unless you try. Sometimes you gotta jump. Sometimes when you jump, you might land poorly, and sometimes you jump, you might just succeed. Good luck with that jump, New Mutants. Personally, I just want Blade to come back. That's just all I want. You can New Mutant all you want to. Can I just get Wesley Snipes as Blade again, fighting off some vampires? That's all the horror I need. But what did you think? Did you think that this trailer was enough to say, okay, I want to give this a try, or were you kind of turned off by it? Are you ready for a superhero horror film? Do you think that's something that can be done? Thank you for watching this video. If you love to watch me talk about stuff like this, give the video a thumbs up. And if you are new here, please subscribe. It's absolutely free. Also ring that bell to be notified of those videos. Be part of that squad by the bell. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000. Chain Chomp.